Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN TV studios, where tonight the Colfax Viking boys are getting ready to take on the Turtle Lake Lakers in a non-conference matchup. Rick Olson here, and soon I'll join Dan Petschow as we're getting ready to remotely bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We want to thank Turtle Lake High School for providing us our video feed for tonight's game. And coming up on this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Turtle Lake Lakers and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So, it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where Dan Petschow and I are getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys basketball game between the Turtle Lake Lakers and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to hone their skills against a tough Laker team and carry those skills into the Dunn-St. Croix Conference race. The Vikings are coming off a 74-63 loss in their game last Thursday against the Mondovi Buffaloes. The Vikings seem to have been bitten by the turnover bug, as numerous passes were intercepted by the Buffaloes and turned into Mondovi points. The leading scorer for the Vikings was 6'2" senior Caden Erickson, who had a very hot first half, and that led his way to a career-high 29 points, 18 of which came from three-point land. Following Erickson was 6'5" senior Drew Gibson, who added 12 points, and 6'5" junior Tristan Lenz, who contributed 11. Turtle Lake, who play in the Central Lakeland Conference, come into tonight's game averaging 54 points per game while giving up 42. The Lakers are currently 2-1 overall, having defeated Shell Lake 66-58 and Siren 54-27, while losing to Clear Lake in a 42-41 nail-biter. The Lakers are led in scoring by 6'2" junior swing forward Brendan Stranke, who's putting up 21 points per game. Also contributing to the Turtle Lake scoring is 5'10" junior guard Joel Humphrey, who adds 11 points per game. Stranke also leads the Lakers in rebounding by grabbing 9 boards per game. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You've tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. And Coach, in just a few minutes, the Vikings are going to be tipping off against the Turtle Lake Lakers. And the Vikings are currently 1-2 after dropping a tough loss on Thursday to the Mondovi Buffaloes. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, first of all, with the Mondovi game, I mean, I think the effort was really high with the boys. They played really hard. They gave themselves a chance. That's what you want, is a chance to be in the game. With 3 minutes left, we were down three, and actually with a minute like 45, we were down three. But the stretch I was talking about with down three with 3 minutes left, we had back-to-back possessions that we had turnovers, and I felt like that in that little stretch right there was the key of the game, because if we could have scored once or twice there, I think we could have maybe pulled that game out. And then some things went against us down the stretch, and we ended up having a foul. They made a bunch of free throws down the end, but ultimately, I'm seeing improvement from game to game from the boys. Mondovi's a very good team. They're a top two team in the conference. They played Durand here recently and lost by 4. And Durand and Mondovi are considered the top two teams this year. So they were right there. They were winning most of the game and lost in the second half, kind of like what we did last night. But again, happy with some different things that happened throughout the game. Hayden Erickson had a career high of 29 points, hit 6 3-pointers last night. Tristan Lenz had a career high of 11 points. So we had some kids really step up in some ways that they haven't done that before. And then, but just the overall, honestly, 2 things that hurt us the most were turnovers. We had 30 turnovers, which is like, it might be a Guinness Book of World Records. And then Mondovi had 23. So they were a +7 in the turnovers department. And we've got to find a way we need to be a +7 or more in the turnovers. So, and then free throws, we did not shoot well at the free throw line as well. We were something like, I can't remember what it was, 7 for 16 or something like that last night.
Yeah. Now tonight the Vikings are on the road to take on the Lakers up in Turtle Lake. And what can you tell us about the Lakers and any special challenges that they present?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting game because it's the first game I'm ever going to be a part of where it's only the teams playing. You know, there's going to be no fans at the game, so they're not allowing anyone to go to the game, and you know they're a top team in their conference. They're a team that's going to be probably a sectional type team in Division 5. They've got a really good junior on their team that's a nice scorer, nice player. So we'll have our hands full, but I'm looking to bounce back. I'm hoping from our Mondovi game and see how resilient our boys are, and see if they can bounce back in a good fashion.
Now, you just mentioned a little bit ago about how a couple players last night or on Tuesday or Thursday night stepped up and made some things happen. Caden Erickson, boy, that boy's had a heck of a week with signing a letter of intent to go to Hamlin for baseball, and now scoring 29 points in that game Thursday night. That had to be a pretty exciting time. And then Tristan Lenz. But you can't just have 2 guys stepping up. Who's going to step up tonight?
Well, we need, you know, what we're seeing out of some of the boys right now is kind of like the high, you know, up and down, and we need to be more consistent. And I think you get more consistent by having consistent effort every single day. And we are having good effort from every one single day. But as a coach, you want players that bring that consistent effort every day, and by having that consistent effort, you have consistent outputs. And you know, we never put a number on the boys like, hey, you need to score this many points, and you need to score this many, and you need to get this many rebounds. It's more about their effort, and the results will come with the effort. And I think some of the boys that, you know, we have some kids that are seniors that I feel that have kind of been up and down a little bit. Part of that is that they're learning a new system, a new style of play, a new coach. They're trying to figure out what their role is. So I understand how some of that might be, but ultimately I want the kids just to play hard, and the output will come with that. But some kids that I know that can play, even stronger force, if you want to say, is Noah and Drew. I think they can step up for us in a bigger way, and they have at times this year, but we need it to be more consistent.
Okay. Now, what can be done? It seemed on Thursday night, Dan and I were noticing that those turnovers you were talking about, a lot of those came as a result of trying to throw across this blue wall of Mondovi players, cross-court passes through a lot of traffic. What can be done to eliminate some of those? Because, boy, oh boy, you eliminate half of those, you guys win that game.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's why it's the 1-3-1 is a tough defense, and they're a very long, athletic team. I mean they're a very good, strong team. But with the turnovers, yes, there were some turnovers that just did not need to happen last night. And to me, it's a lack of focus. It's a lack of experience, and the lack of experience knowing, okay, hey, if I want to make a pass to this guy over here that's open, I need to make a fake in a different direction to get the ball to where I actually want the ball to go. We can't look at where we're going to go, and we can't try to pass through two people when we only have to pass through one person somewhere else. So we have to make the easier passes, and a lot of that comes just straight up from experience and in skills. Our skills, our footwork, is really big, and to be honest with you, when you watch basketball, the biggest skill that people need to have is footwork and pivoting. And if you're not seeing people pivoting when they're making ball fakes, pass fakes, the ball's going to get stolen from them.
Now, I know that Hunter Reback did not play on Thursday. He's still nursing a football injury. What's his status, and are there any other injuries or illnesses that the Vikings are having to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, with Hunter, he sat out this whole week. He sat out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of practice, did not practice. And we're trying to rest him to get because right now, really, he just needs rest for his knee. And it felt better on Thursday, and he probably could have played, but he didn't practice for 3 straight days. And I didn't feel confident that he was probably going to know exactly what we wanted to do out there. And ultimately, I wanted to keep resting him because by not playing him last night, he's going to get another rest of the day. Yesterday he got another day of rest. And then today we have practice, and then maybe he'll be able to go, when we play Turtle Lake here today, maybe he'll be able to play. We'll see how he's feeling. Ultimately, next Tuesday is our next conference game. If we can get him ready for that, that'd be great.
Okay, well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game against the Turtle Lake Lakers, and hopefully the Vikings will find a way to even that season record at 2 wins and 2 losses.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, and we're going to shoot for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Vikings are looking to even up their season record at 2 wins and 2 losses. On the other hand, the Turtle Lake Lakers would like to iron out the last of their kinks before they head back into Central Lakeland Conference play. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Now in a moment, I'll be headed to our other studio to join my colleague Dan Petschow as we'll remotely bring you all the action of tonight's boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Turtle Lake Lakers. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Light Colfax Viking basketball.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Over to Hydorn, drives down the left side, lays it up and in. And the Vikings draw first blood.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking boys varsity basketball game.
Underneath the reback, lays it up and puts it in.
Great pass by Noah Hydorn.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Back out high to Gibson, three-pointer on the way, off the front of the iron, rolls around and in. That hit the rim about 4 different places before it decided to go down and in. And welcome to our other studio. Rick Olson here along with Dan Petchow, and we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game from Turtle Lake. Again, thank you to Turtle Lake High School for providing us with the video for tonight's game. And actually, before we get too far into it, I think we'll send it over to Turtle Lake and get the pregame ceremony. While they're getting ready anyway, we'll have the player introductions and the national anthem and so on. Dan, why don't you real quickly run through who's going to be in tonight's game?
Yeah, here's the first 5 for Turtle Lake tonight. They're going to go number 3, junior Toby Call. Number 5, Joel Humphrey. Number 10, Blake Till. Number 12, Brendan Strenke. 23, Noah Torgerson. For the Colfax Vikings, they're going to go with number 4, Nathan Hajdukovic. Number 15, Caden Erickson. Number 22, Tristan Lenz. Number 23, Noah Hydorn. And number 33, Drew Gibson.
And why don't we send it right now back out to, or over to Turtle Lake as we're getting ready for, looks maybe like getting ready for the national anthem and player introduction, so we'll send it out there and we can be part of that. And that's the starting lineups for tonight's game. Once again for the Lakers, it's Call, Humphrey, Till, Stranke, Torgerson. For the Vikings, Hajdukovic, Eriksson, Lenz, Heidorn, and Gibson. And the Vikings, being the visiting team, will have the ball first. And we have Gibson getting ready to inbound it to Heidorn over on the far side of the court. Gibson has the ball, gets it to Heidorn, and brings it right through the center circle. Over to the left side to Gibson. To Lenz. Out on to Heidorn on the right. Out high to Eriksson, three-pointer on the way, and Eriksson hit the three-pointer to get things started. 3-0 Vikings draw first blood. And here comes Turtle Lake down the floor. It's Call with it. Down the left side. Oh, and gets it back out high to Stranke. Stranke's the one to watch on Turtle Lake. They get it over to Till, to Stranke. Down low to Call. He puts the shot up, no good. Turtle Lake comes away with the ball. Going back in for the follow-up is no good. And the second follow-up by Stranke is no good. And Stranke gets the loose change. He gets it over to Call on the right side, back to Stranke. Now cross-court pass to Humphrey. Down in the corner, shot comes up and no good. And coming away with the ball is Eriksson for the Vikings. And the Vikings are going to have to do better on the board than that, or they can't give him 4 cracks at the basket. Eriksson gets it out to Hajdukovic, puts up the three, no good. Rebound taken down by Torgerson. Gets it over to Call. Call puts up the three, no good. Rebound taken down by Stranke. Throws it off the Vikings and it rolls out of bounds. He threw it off a Lenz and it went out of bounds, so Turtle Lake has the ball and they will have it on the right side under their own basket. Feed it out to Till, puts it up, no good. Rebound chased down by Till, gets it over to Stranke. Till back to Stranke. Cross-court pass over to Humphrey, puts up the three, no good. Rebound taken down by Call. Turnaround jumper, no good. Turtle Lake with the rebound, Humphrey with the shot. It goes up, no good. Out of bounds and off of Viking again. This one also went off of Lenz, and it's going to be Turtle Lake's ball again under their own basket.
Colfax is going to have to get a little aggressive.
They get it into Humphrey, drives the baseline, and speaking of aggressive, Hajdukovic takes the ball away. Gets it to Heidorn, who brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Takes it down the right side of the lane, kicks it out to Eriksson, back over to Hajdukovic on the right side. Swinging around, out to Eriksson on the right side from three, no good. Rebound tipped, and it's out of bounds off of Turtle Lake, and the Vikings will have the ball under their own basket. Hajdukovic to inbound for the Vikings. Gets it over to Heidorn. High, wide, and right. Takes it out between the circles. Directing some traffic. Now takes it down the right side of the lane. Kicks it out to Hajdukovic. Puts up the three. Off the back of the iron. No good. Rebound taken down by Turtle Lake. That was Call with the rebound. They get it down the floor quickly. It's out to Call at the top of the key. Over to Till, then down in the corner to Humphrey. Underneath the Torgerson. They get it back out to Call, out high. Over to Stranke, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Lenz with a strong rebound that time. He went up and got it. Here come the Vikings down the floor. Heidorn, over to Gibson. Gibson drives to the free throw line. Kicks it out to the left side. Then they feed it over to Eriksson on the right. And he tries to go up with it. Got fouled on his way up. So he's going to go to the line. Looks like the foul might have been on Torgerson. And it's going to be the first team foul on Turtle Lake. Evidently it wasn't on his way to the basket either. It was before he went up. Lenz with it. Got kind of trapped down below the basket. Tried to feed it out to Hajdukovic. Missed connection. And the ball goes out of bounds. Turtle Lake ball. Till brings it up the floor. Right through the center circle. Feeds it off to the left side to Stranke. Now over to the right side. Now to Till at the top of the... now underneath call. He lays it up and in. 3-2, Vikings on top. We're still early in the first half. Gibson has it, drives into the lane. Jumper from in the lane is no good. Came up a little bit short on that. Turtle Lake with the ball. They come down the floor quickly. Stranke with it. Feeds it over to Torgerson. Then to Humphrey with a three-pointer, and he hit that three-pointer. 5-3. Turtle Lake is up by 2. And here come the Vikings. Hydorn with it between the circles. Gets it over to Erickson on the right. Try to feed it down to the lane. Gets tipped away. It was intended for Gibson, but Hydorn gets it. Takes it to the free throw line. Feeds it over to the left side to Hajdukovic. Puts up the 3 and missed that one too. That's 3 in a row from three-point land that Hajdukovic has missed. And Stranke brings it down. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. Turtle Lake will maintain possession. Till to inbound. Gets it into Stranke, back by the timeline. Feeds it into the lane to Torgerson. Now down into the right corner, back out to Stranke, then to Humphrey from 3. No good. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. 5-3. Turtle Lake with the lead. We have a substitution. Tanner Hoffman into the lineup for Tristan Lenz for the Vikings. Hydorn brings it down the floor over to the right side, gets it over to Gibson between the circles to Hajdukovic on the left. Get it down into the left corner. Now to Hoffman in the lane, gets it out to Hydorn, puts up the 3, and he hit that three-pointer. Vikings take the lead back 6-5. Here comes Turtle Lake right back down the floor. It's Humphrey with it to Stranke. Now they get it down underneath the call, who lays it up and in. 7-6 Turtle Lake, and we have a timeout on the floor. We're in the first half. Vikings have they're trailing by 1, 7-6. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, bringing you tonight's game from Turtle Lake. Hydorn with the ball on the left side, feeds it over to the right side to Hajdukovic. He takes it to the free throw line, gets it back over to Hydorn on the right, but they're going to say he slid a little when he stopped at the free throw line, and they got him for the travel. So Turtle Lake has the ball. Till is going to, check that. Call is going to inbound it. Looks like to Till. Vikings putting on some pressure. Turtle Lake beats it without too much trouble. Ben Torgerson back out high now, and it's Till with it. He feed it down underneath the Torgerson, puts it up, it goes in, and we have a foul being called. Torgerson's going to go to the line. That foul was on Gibson. It's his first team foul on the Vikings. 9-6. Turtle Lake with the lead. Torgerson's free throw is good. And the Vikings bring it down the floor. Erickson with it at the top of the key. Feeds it over to the left side to Hajdukovic. He drives out, loses control, and the ball goes out of bounds. Kind of a short landing area out there just past the end. Hajdukovic kind of hit the end pretty hard. Turtle Lake with it. Comes down the floor. Albright checked into the lineup for the Vikings. Turtle Lake has it. They pass along the baseline. And they get it out a little bit higher to call. They swing it around to the far side. That's Stranky with it. Over to Humphrey. He tries to drive the baseline, lost control. I don't know if they say he stepped out of bounds or he traveled. One of the two. Anyway, it's Viking ball. Down the floor comes Heidorn. Gets it over to Gibson. Three-pointer on the way. Off the iron, no good. Heidorn with the rebound. Thought about going straight back up. Now he turns around, puts it up and got it. Noah Heidorn with the two from the lane. 10-8. Turtle Lake up by 2. Humphrey with it on the right side. He's high wide, or on the left side, I should say. He's high wide and left. Now he takes it out very high. Still on the dribble. Feeds it to Stranky. Now they feed it down underneath, and Toby Call with the lay-in. 12-8. Turtle Lake on top. Vikings have it. Gibson with three-pointer, no good. Rebound taken down by Call. Brings it down the floor. Gets it to Humphrey. Humphrey feeds it over to Till. Till to Stranky. Stranky back out. Well, he was trying to get it back out to Till, but it got knocked out of bounds by Heidorn. Drew Torgerson is into the lineup, replacing Humphrey. So we have Drew and Noah. It's another one of those. Let's go with the first names, Dan.
Yeah, we ran across that a couple times this year.
Yeah, a number of times. So Turtle Lake inbounds the ball to Stranky. They feed it over to Till. Till out high to Stranky. Over to Drew. Cross-court pass to Till, and he put up the shot. It was no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Heidorn with it. Now they get it over to Erickson, who loses control as he drives into the lane, and Turtle Lake gets the ball. Down the floor come the Lakers. Stranky with a three-pointer on the way, and he drained that. I think they gave him 3 on it. We'll see if they show us an actual scoreboard. They throw it right down the middle of the floor to Drew. He drives into the lane, tries to go up with it. Gets knocked away by the Vikings, but Turtle Lake chases down the loose change. Till has it, down into the corner. They get it out to Torgerson. Over to Till. Now to Stranky in the left corner, puts up the 3, and he hit that one. It's 2 in a row for Stranky over on that left side. And here come the Vikings down the floor. Erickson with it from the free throw line, puts it up off the back of the iron, no good. Vikings have gotten cold. And Turtle Lake comes away with the ball. Call with it. Lead it over to the right side. This is Till. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds. Off the Vikings, it'll be Turtle Lake ball. Nate Loritzen is into the lineup. Humphrey is back in as well. Inbound pass to Stranky, puts up a long shot, and he hit that one. 21-10, and we have a timeout being called by the Vikings. Timeout on the floor. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
As you check names off your gift-giving list, Dairy State Bank encourages you to shop local as much as possible. The reasons are countless. For example, local businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in the U.S. each year. There are times you could save a few cents by ordering online, but when you shop at a local store, you could be saving your community. Shop local for the holidays. It's more important than ever. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And it's Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow back here at, well, we're in our studios, but we're bringing you the game from Turtle Lake High School. Doing the best we can to see the names as the Vikings bring the ball down the floor. Heidorn feeds it over to the right side. Now it gets back to Albright at the free throw line. Tries to feed it over. Got tipped out of bounds. Vikings will have it. Lauritsen got his hand on it, and it flew up out of bounds. And now the officials want to have a discussion. Or change balls.
That's kind of odd.
Well, maybe this one will go through the hoop better than the other one.
Yeah, maybe the other one wasn't round.
Okay. Hajdukovic to inbound it for the Vikings. Gets it into Heidorn. Takes it out between the circles. Comes down the right side. Feeds it over to Albright. Then to Hoffman. Hoffman between the circles. Over to Hajdukovic on the left. Into the lane. They kick it back out. Now Hoffman. They get it down into the lane to Riesdorf. Now Hoffman has it. Or check that was Albright on the left side. And they're going to get Albright with the travel. So Turtle Lake has the ball. And they also have a 21-10 lead. Down the floor they come. Till on the dribble. Directing traffic. Now takes it down the left side of the lane, lays it up, and it goes in. 23-10, 13-point lead for the Turtle Lake Lakers. And here come the Vikings down the floor. Hoffman with it. Loses control. Ball goes between his legs, and here comes Turtle Lake. Stranky with it on the left side. Being guarded by Hajdukovic. He drives the baseline. And he stepped out of bounds. It's going to be Viking ball. Pretty good defense that time by Hajdukovic to force him to go out of bounds before he got rid of the ball.
Yeah, good job by Colfax to get back on transition and stop Turtle Lake.
So the Vikings come down the floor. Hajdukovic with it on the right side. Takes it up to the top of the key. Gets it over to Albright. Drives down to the right side of the lane. Feeds it out to Heidorn. High, wide, and right. Takes it to the free throw line. Feeds it underneath to Lenz. Lenz lays it up. It does not go in, but he got fouled on the way up, and he's going to go to the line. That's going to be the second team foul. And Dan and I kind of looked at each other like we have no idea what he signaled. Here's Lenz with his first shot. It's up. It does not go in. That's the way the Viking night has been going so far. Somebody has to go up there and take that plastic cover off the hoop. Second shot on the way. That one goes through. Turtle Lake has the ball. Come across the timeline. Get it out high to Drew Torgerson. They try to feed it over to Humphrey, but the Vikings steal it. Feed it into the lane to Heidorn. His shot got blocked, and we have a whistle, and looks like Heidorn got fouled on the way up.
Yeah, good job at number 24 for Colfax, Mitch Riesdorf, to get in the middle of the pass there and get the steal.
Well, that'll be the third team foul on Turtle Lake. And the shot is up and good by Heidorn. Will be called back into the lineup for Turtle Lake, replacing Till. Second shot is on the way off the front of the iron. No good. Riesdorf gets the rebound for the Vikings. Gets it out to Heidorn. He's at the top of the key. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound tapped to Heidorn. And they're going to get Heidorn with the travel, and I think he knew it. He took a little hop on the pivot foot. Thought he might get away with it, but he didn't. Checking into the lineup now is Erickson, giving Heidorn a bit of a break. And here comes Turtle Lake down the floor with the ball. Drew Torgerson with it. Takes it down the left side. Puts up the shot. It does not go, but we're going to get a blocking foul called on Erickson. I can believe, yes, it is. That should be the second team foul on the Vikings. First shot is up, no good by Drew Torgerson. Checking in is, I've been waiting to say this name all night, Brandon Ramelfanger comes into the Turtle Lake lineup. That's a mouthful and a half. Next shot is on the way. That one's good. 24-12. Turtle Lake up on top. Dukovic with it. He feeds it over to Albright. Takes it into the lane. Shot is no good. Rebound. Taken down by Lenz, maybe? Turtle Lake comes away with it. We have a whistle, and we're going to get a foul called on somebody, but I'm not sure.
22.
That's on Lenz, Tristan Lenz. That'll be the third team foul on the Vikings. Gibson and Hoffman checking in for the Vikings. Replacing Riesdorf and Lenz. And Turtle Lake will be bringing the ball down the floor. Humphrey with it, coming down the floor. Feeds it over to the right side to Till, and we have a jump ball call. Hajdukovic went in there and grabbed hold of that ball from Toby Call and got the jump ball. Possession arrow was in favor of Turtle Lake, so Till brings it across the timeline for the Lakers. Over to Humphrey on the left. Back over to Till on the right. To Call. Now cross court pass to Humphrey. Puts up the three. No good. Rebound. Tipped. And it's loose on the floor. Vikings chase it down. They're going to say it went out of bounds. Albright made a good effort at trying to get the ball before it got out of bounds, but evidently it caught the line. Coming in for Turtle Lake is Stranke. Ramelfanger takes a seat. Till with it. Gets it over to Humphrey between the circles. Over to Stranke on the far right side. Cross-court pass. Over to Till. Puts up the three. No good. Rebound by Hajdukovic. And he comes down the floor with it. Feeds it down into the right corner to Albright. Back out to Hajdukovic. To Gibson between the circles. Launches a three. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Turtle Lake. Down the floor, Stranke puts the shot up. Gibson comes away with the rebound, and he brings it down the floor right through the center circle. Feeds it off to Hajdukovic on the left side. Directing some traffic. Albright. Hoffman in the lane. To Hajdukovic, he lays it up and in. And we have a timeout on the floor. Turtle Lake 24, Vikings 14, and you are tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings. And we're back getting ready to bring you some more action from Turtle Lake as the Lakers bring the ball down the floor. Till feeds it down underneath to Call. Does not have a shot. Gets it back out high. They recycle it to Stranke on the right side to Till between the circles. They get it into Torgerson, and now it recycles back around to Stranke. Till underneath the Call, lays it up, and it goes in. And the Vikings bring it down the floor. Erickson with it. Gets it over to Hajdukovic. He's out between the circles. To Gibson high on the left. His free throw line extended. To Hoffman in the lane. Turnaround jumper. It does not go. They go crashing together for it. And we have a whistle.
Should be a foul on Tanner Hoffman.
And it is. So that'll be foul number 4 on the Vikings. As Turtle Lake brings it down the floor. This is Till with it on the dribble. Gets it over to Humphrey between the circles. Humphrey looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Hill, high, wide, and left. Till drives to the free throw line. Kicks it back out to Humphrey. Humphrey back out between the circles. Then he gets it to Call. Call then dishes it off to Till. Till drives in the lane. Does not get it, but gets his own rebound. Then back over to Call. Rebound off that shot is no good. Or rebound comes to Gibson. And we have a little bit of buffering, and we have a shot that goes in. Evidently, the Vikings were out of bounds before the shot went in. Of course, that happened while the picture was buffering. So, but based on what they're doing, there was no shot there. Stranky with it. Feeding it over to the right side. This is Drew Torgerson. Takes it down to the baseline, but he walked with it. And the Vikings will have it. Checking into the lineup is Heidorn for the Vikings. He brings it down the floor. Heidorn directing some traffic. Moves over to the right side. Gets it out high to Hoffman. Hoffman over to the left side to Hajdukovic. Now they get it down low to Gibson. Puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Turtle Lake. They quickly come down the floor. They get it way over to the far side to Till. He takes it out between the circles. And it's going to buffer again on us. So Till ends up driving into the lane. We have a blocking foul being called on the Vikings. And Till's going to go to the line. The foul is on Erickson. Till will be shooting 2. I don't know if you made that first one, Dan. Second shot's on the way. That one's good. And we have a timeout on the floor. Hopefully during this timeout we'll get some buffering issues taken care of with the Turtle Lake feed, and you're watching Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
And Rick Olson and Dan Petchow trying to bring you the action from Turtle Lake. The score we have is 27-14, but as you can see, we still have buffering issues from Turtle Lake, so we're going to do the best we can with it. We'll try to catch a score for you on their scoreboard, but their camera operator doesn't seem to want to give us a shot of the scoreboard ever. It'd be really nice if they would. So the Vikings bring it down the floor. That's Heidorn with it now between the circles. We're waiting to see what he does. Gets it to Hoffman, drives into the lane, turns around, puts it up, and it did not go in, but he did get fouled on the way. Boy, that went about 3/4 of the way down and didn't go in. Hoffman's shot is up. No good. And I do believe he probably made the second one. That's why they're bringing it in from out of bounds. And Turtle Lake's supposed to be bringing the ball down, but evidently we have some more buffering issues. I'll tell you what, Dan, we're going to take a timeout here, and we're going to try to reestablish our connection with Turtle Lake and see if we can do something. But you're watching what we can of Viking basketball here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380. And we are not sure if our score is anywhere near close. We do have a connection back, and it does appear as though it's buffering just as much as it was. So we're going to do the best we can here. Hopefully catch a glimpse of the scoreboard along in here somewhere too. If we have any Colfax people there that might happen to have the game on their cell phone, if you could tell the guy running the camera to please show us the scoreboard once in a while, that would sure help a lot. Because the buffered picture right now has Blake Till, and he's got the ball between the circles, but you can tell we're only getting a couple seconds. Well, then now the Vikings have it. Don't trust our score, folks. That's going to be way off. That's Hajdukovic in a frozen picture. Now he takes it to the free throw line, and the ball's out of bounds. Over on the other side, Vikings have it. And they inbound it, and this is Heidorn. Feeds it over to Hajdukovic on the right side. We set up a whole new connection and during that last timeout, and it's still buffering.
New experiences for 2020.
Yes, it is. And we'll see here. Because this one is really frozen up pretty good now, it looks like. Well, something happened and the court is empty. And it looks like maybe, Dan, are we at halftime?
That could be.
Because I don't see anybody down there on the benches. So I'll tell you what, we are going to take it as if it's halftime. We don't know what the score is, but we're going to try and get this figured out. So we'll take some Viking halftime.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Drew Gibson, and Drew is a senior here at Colfax, and we're going to get to know Drew a little better right after this brief timeout.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
We're talking with Drew Gibson on Viking Profile. And Drew, we know you play basketball, but what else do you do at school?
Well, I played football, baseball. I'm involved in our choir and musicals. I'm also involved in NHS Student Council and FBLA.
Pretty busy guy. Plus, you have a job on top of that.
Yep. Always visit me at Synergy Cooperative. It's real fun.
So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience do you have?
I started playing, and I believe it was third or fourth when we started, and then I played ever since then. I played a couple years at AAU.
Okay. So what's the most important thing you've learned from playing basketball?
I think the biggest thing, well, especially compared to the other sports, it's a really long season, so it's a long grind. Teaches you to take care of your body and really get a good teammates, or else it's going to be a long season.
Okay. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that you're interested in that keep you occupied?
I'm strolling through Facebook Marketplace and finding some items to flip, make some money.
Okay. A little bit of entrepreneurship on your part, huh?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, here I've got a few rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Which kind?
Chocolate chip.
There you go. The real gooey ones?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mom's.
Oh, I'm coming over. Tell your mom to have them ready. Right out of the oven.
Right.
Your favorite color and why?
Always loved wearing those conference and regional championship basketball shirts when I was younger.
Okay. So if you could have a superpower, what would that be and why?
I would definitely go with some teleport, because good luck guarding me if I get a rebound on one end and can go right under the basket on the other.
And just if you're going to teleport high enough so that you're slamming it down through. Yeah, I get the idea. So your favorite NBA or WNBA team, if you have one?
I like the Minnesota Timberwolves.
All right. How about your favorite college team?
I like watching the Gophers.
You've been consistent with that every time I've chatted with you. I've got to hand it to you.
Minnesota
proud.
Right,
we're talking with Drew Gibson here on Viking Profile. And Drew, what are your plans for after high school?
You know, I'm looking at options to play basketball right now, but if not, I go to Eau Claire to pursue an education career.
Okay, and how about a shout out to your family?
Shout out to my amazing mom, dad, and grandma.
All right. And when people watch Viking games here on NLWN TV, what number do you wear and what position do you play?
I wear number 33, and you can kind of see all over the court. I guess it'll just depend on the night.
Okay. Hey, we want to thank Drew Gibson for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time now for the Colfax High School Report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
Colfax Viking Athletics continues with the boys and girls basketball teams. The girls Viking basketball team went 1-0 last week as they moved their season record to 2 wins and 2 losses with a 49-43 victory over Glenwood City. The Viking girls are currently 2 wins and 1 loss in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. The Viking boys went 1-1 last week with a season opening loss to Somerset 76-44 and then a 61-52 victory over Glenwood City. That puts the Viking boys at 1-0 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Now, coming up this week, the Viking boys will host the Mondovi Buffaloes on Thursday, December 17th, and travel to Turtle Lake to take on the Lakers on Saturday the 19th. We will carry both of those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV, with Viking pregame beginning on Thursday at 6:55 p.m. and live play-by-play at 7:10. On Saturday, the Viking pregame will begin at 5:40 p.m. and live play-by-play at 5:55 p.m. That's a little different time because it's on a Saturday. The Viking girls will host Durand on Friday, December 18th. We will have that girls game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and on NLWN TV, with Viking pregame at 5:55 and live play-by-play action beginning at 6:10 p.m. Notice that is also a time change. Viking pregame again at 5:55 and live play-by-play at 6:10 on Friday. Now, coming up next week, the Viking girls will host the Fall Creek Crickets on Monday the 21st, and the Viking boys will make up their game with Elmwood Plug City Wolves on Tuesday the 22nd. We'll carry both of those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. In addition, Colfax will begin its annual holiday break beginning on Wednesday, December 23rd. School will resume on Monday, January 4th. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School for the week of December 14th through the 19th.
You've been tuned to the Colfax High School Report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is more Viking halftime and then second half action.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
And Rick Olson along with Dan Petschow, and we're back in our studios here. And it's not up, down below us here, but it will be in just a moment. There, you can see in the picture below us, you can see that circle going around and around and around, which means it's still buffering from Turtle Lake. So we don't know if the teams have come back from halftime or not. There have been a few moments where it hasn't been buffering and still nobody back on the floor. So evidently it's still halftime. We don't know. By this time, the team should be back on the floor. Part of the problem that we're seeing is that Turtle Lake High School somehow has two streams of the same thing going at the same time. And that's confusing their system. And in fact, I've got a picture now of the court that doesn't appear to be buffering. And now it's buffering, and it's still nobody there. So at any rate, we're obviously not going to be able to continue our coverage because we don't have any live feed coming from Turtle Lake that is going to be effective. So we're really sorry. We've got everything working at our end, but the folks at Turtle Lake have some tech issues that either they're not aware of or the people that need to handle it aren't available at this time because, like I say, they've got two live feeds going at the same thing. I'm sure that's what's causing the buffering, and because both the feeds are buffering. And with that, we get no live picture. It was going well from a technical end until about halfway through the first half. It was going well from our end from a tech standpoint, but not so much from a Viking standpoint.
Yeah, we just don't know
whether they've solved the problems
Right.
or what's happened. They were having some troubles with the rebounding. They were having troubles getting shots to drop. Turtle Lake seemed to be out hustling on the Turtle Lake end of the floor. But those are all fixable problems, and I'm sure Coach Knoll had some things to say to the guys at halftime. Unfortunately, we don't know. And but let's give you a little bit of information. Coming up, we will have boys basketball coming up on Tuesday, when the boys will host Elmwood Plum City in a Dunn St. Croix conference matchup. Yeah, at least this Turtle Lake game doesn't matter in the conference standings. And that game will be Tuesday, the 22nd. It'll be the last game of the year for us.
It is.
Anyway, last game of 2020. And Viking pregame will be at 6:55. Live play-by-play will be at 7:10. It'll be good to get 2020 behind us for a whole lot of reasons. And for those of you interested in wanting to know when we're going to do our next girls game, the next girls basketball game will be carried on NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Thursday, January 7th. And that's when the Vikings will travel over to Boyceville to take on the Bulldogs. Hopefully we won't have the same technical issues there. We will bring you that game remotely, everything working accordingly. And the video will be provided by Boyceville High School. Viking pregame will be at 6:55 and live play-by-play will begin at 7:10. And with the new year coming up, we want to remind you also that NLWN TV is excited to announce that coming in March, we're going to bring you classic WISSOTA racing action. And in that, we're going to reprise 7 of the races from this last summer from Eagle Valley Speedway. And we have a few added features. And this is going to help get you ready for the 2021 racing season. And that's going to all start on March 17th. On NLWN TV. So we're going to call it a night. That's about all we can do for tonight. Dan, I'm going to see you on Tuesday. And that one will be from Colfax High School. We know things work. And that's what we're going to have. So Viking basketball, next Viking boys basketball from Colfax High School. Really sorry we can't finish this game from Turtle Lake, but as you can see, we just don't have a picture from them. And that, I don't think, is going to change. So you've been watching Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.